Well, good morning, everybody, and thank you so much for tuning on in to our Valley News Now desk this morning. We've got a little bit of a foggy day on our hands, and we weren't really seeing that too much yesterday here in Fargo-Moorhead, but I know a lot of other places throughout the valley were seeing that particular situation, especially as we headed into northwestern Minnesota. We were having that. So everybody's really getting a taste today, I guess. One more time, thank you so much for joining us here on our Valley News Now desk. My name is Alex Larson. So we're going to kick things off talking about weather right away, get you what you need to know about this first week of fall. I'm going to get my screen set up to share with you quickly here. And we're going to hop on over to the Valley News Live website, where we're sitting at 55 degrees here in Fargo right now, fair conditions. Partly sunny, we're going to stay sunny. 80 degrees today. Looks like we're looking at that coming around at about 4 p.m., but we're going to stay relatively warm. I mean, 1 o'clock, 76, 2 o'clock, 78, 3 o'clock, 79, not bad at all. And it looks like 0% chance of rain today. So really overall, a beautiful day we got in our hands. This afternoon, we're looking at sunny, few clouds, might near 80. Gorgeous afternoon, First Alert Storm Team says. Tomorrow, though, look at that. First alert weather day. It's going to be tomorrow morning. Dense fog. It's expected across much of our region. So visibility is going to be less than 1 mile, and that could make driving difficult, our First Alert Storm Team says. But let's hop over here. So that's going to be for Wednesday morning. We're going to hop up to 76 degrees tomorrow, and then we're going to stay pretty consistent throughout the first week of fall and into October. Check that out. October on the 11-day planner. Hard to believe. It feels like September really just started, but we're about to take on October next week, and those temperatures are not, in my opinion, looking very October-like. They're looking more September, Augusty to me, but it'll be a beautiful next couple weeks other than that first alert weather day. You got to be aware of that. And remember, our First Alert Storm Team works very hard to keep you updated in the know with everything you need to know regarding our First Alert Weather Day that's coming up, as well as any situation that we're taking on weather-wise. They can have those forecasts for you right at your fingertips with the Valley News Live weather app. It's free to download, easy to use. You can find it in the App Store. No matter if you got an iPhone, Android, doesn't matter. Our First Alert Storm Team can follow you no matter where you go, and you're able to stay weather aware and get those alerts that they'll send out to you to make sure that you have the latest information on when and where weather may be impacting where you are right at that moment. We're going to move on to our news portion of this segment. I want to talk about Monaga school leaders meeting last night to talk about a para in the district who was arrested for failing to register as a predatory offender. So Jeffrey Newberry was arrested back on September 9th after months of serving as a para and an assistant football coach in the Monaga district. However, the school board hardly really acknowledged Jeffrey Newberry at that meeting. Only one parent spoke during the public comment section, saying the superintendent lacks accountability and parents should not have had to wait 24 hours to figure out what happened. Superintendent lightly addressing the topic before moving on to the next agenda item. Now, we've got that full story about last night's meeting. That's over on our website, valleynewslive.com. You can find it right there. Up in Grand Forks, an investigation is underway after a body was found in the Red River. Authorities say a woman was found 200 yards north of the boat ramp on the West Bank. If you got any information on this, call Grand Forks Police. We'll continue to update you here at Valley News Live as more information becomes available. But again, we'll keep you updated online and on air. And the Richland County Sheriff's Office is investigating a possible shots fired call. So authorities say they were first heard around 10:30 Sunday night, and they went into the early morning hours. Authorities investigating, but we're not able to find where those shots came from. We're going to keep you up to date on the progress of that investigation, though. And a beloved bell will ring no more at Whitestone Hill Cemetery in Gwinner after the 701-pound bell was stolen earlier this month. The man arrested for that theft was Paul Vincent. And Valley News Team's Harrison Prey headed over to Sargent County, where the crime continues to reverberate in that community. Let's take a listen.
At Whitestone Hill Cemetery in Milner, there was once a 113-year-old bell. But now it's no longer there after 450 pounds of the bell was sold as scrap to a metal recycling facility.
How is one person going to get that in the back of a vehicle?
One man was arrested in connection with the theft of the bell, and when asking community members on how it's made them feel, they're left feeling disgusted.
Real disgusted because I've got lots of relation here. My folks are buried here. My brother's buried here. My grandfolks are buried here. It's kind of sad.
Going back in time, the bell was donated to the cemetery by the Luther League of the Whitestone Hill Congregation in 1912. But with one piece of the cemetery missing, it's left others to wonder how it will be replaced.
It wouldn't be the same with a different bell anyway. We don't know exactly the cost of a new one.
Peterson says that replacing a bell with inscription would cost $40,000. But back in the day,
it cost $200.
According to court documents, the suspect admits that he and another person sold pieces of it.
Real disrespectful, and I mean, to steal from a cemetery is just, you know, it's almost unheard of. You hear more vandalism than you do stealing.
I think they should be kicked in you know what.
In Milner, Harrison Prey, Valley News Live.
So the parts sold to the facility had been grinded off to remove any identifying characteristics. That's according to court documents. The replacement of the bell will cost between, like we just told you, $40,000 to $50,000. A Jamestown pastor was one of 200 pastors who was invited by Turning Point USA to attend Charlie Kirk's memorial service in Arizona on Sunday. Sean Bowman is the senior pastor at Victory Lutheran Church in Jamestown, and he met Kirk at an event in Bismarck a few years back. He was also invited by Kirk to a pastors' conference in San Diego during their interaction in Bismarck. During the service, Bowman was only about 20 rows from the front.
It was powerful for me. It was powerful for the people sitting in the highest seats in the stadium. There were a lot of tears. There were a lot of gratefulness. And this nation, I believe, will never be the same because of the death of Charlie Kirk. And I believe he was a Christian martyr.
Fargo City Commissioner Michelle Turnberg also attended Kirk's memorial service on Sunday in Arizona. She shared photos with Valley News Live and says she was there by 4 a.m. and says around 10,000 plus people were already there. She also added that she waited in line for about 4 hours plus to get into that stadium. And Turning Point USA has continued on the American Comeback Tour with a stop at the University of Minnesota last night. Following Kirk's death, well-known conservative commentator Michael Knowles became the featured speaker for a vigil for Kirk that was held at the Minnesota State Capitol last night at 7. And the tour is also going to make a stop at UND in Grand Forks on October 9th. Glenn Beck, a conservative radio host and friend of Charlie Kirk, will fill what would have been Kirk's seat that night. Valley News Live does plan to be there for you next week. We'll bring you full coverage online and on air. And you can find all those details over on your VNN News app. It's handy for breaking news right at your fingertips and to follow along with stories that may be piquing your interest in our community or even nationally. We've got a lot of stuff posted on there for you to take a peek at to find something to follow. Now, if you've been outside or looked at the trees lately, you know that fall is coming. And yesterday was actually the first day of fall. I'm going to take you to Maplewood State Park here. It was the first day of fall, and with that comes the peak time to get out to see all those beautiful colors. Again, this is the case at Maplewood State Park, east of town. Those reds, oranges, and yellows are really peeking through this time of year. And the park manager we spoke to, Bill Anderson, says you're going to want to get out sooner rather than later to see these colors while the temperatures are still nice. So the Minnesota DNR also has a website where you can see what certain parks are reporting colors. It's called Fall Color Finder. And some big news. WeFest is out with next year's lineup. I had to scoot over here to get my picture in, okay? So the headliners include Lainey Wilson, Thomas Rhett, and Brooks and Dunn. You can also expect to see Little Big Town and Jamie Johnson. Festival is going to run August 6th through the 8th. Tickets went on sale are going on sale, 9 this morning. Well, that's about all I got for you here on our Valley News Now desk. Remember, you can find this streaming on Facebook, YouTube. You can find it on our live stream tab over on our website, Valley News Live, or even your free VNL News app as well. There's a lot of different avenues to get a hold of this. And if you download the VNL News app too, we're going to give you push notifications when we start this up, so you're able to get the latest in breaking news, what's going on in our community. We're able to provide that for you by sending you that push notification, and you're able to get that information right away. Again, that's all I got for you here. I hope to see you back here tomorrow. Have a great rest of your Tuesday and an even better rest of your week. My name is Alex.